Just imagine what it would be like to be given an hour to take your most precious possessions and leave for a place you don't know anything about.
Driven from their homes by persecution and poverty, these are refugees, walking into the unknown, looking for a place where they don't have to live in fear for their lives. This is the situation in many areas of the world: the Sudan, the Ukraine, Bosnia, Croatia, places where people die because of who they are or what they believe, places where people become outcasts from the only homes they have ever known.
I think it's really important to understand that refugees are, by definition, traumatized by their experience. It's not that they've chosen to go anywhere. They are people who have a well-founded fear of persecution, danger to themselves if they were to return to their homes. Refugees, in a sense, are propelled from behind by a negative force, where immigrants are attracted from ahead by a positive force. With refugees, they don't have a choice. And one of the hardest things about being a refugee is the uncertainty. You don't know where you're going. You don't know when you're going there. You don't know if you will ever arrive at a place where your life is settled again, where you can establish yourself, hold a job, learn the language, understand the customs, kind of get your life in order again. And one of the things I think that refugee resettlement is best about doing is to help people to have that kind of stability again, to kind of claim that for themselves.
Harrisonburg's Refugee Resettlement Office is one of many organizations worldwide that is attempting to help refugees find a place to build a new life. This office is a division of the Virginia Council of Churches, which in conjunction with other international organizations helps to sponsor refugee families and bring them into this country. Most refugees must go through an elaborate application and interview process to find a sponsoring organization. Once they have a sponsor, they have little time to begin the journey to a new life, a journey often filled with apprehension and uncertainty.
Well, there are many different things, different thoughts. First, I would say, what's going to happen with me tomorrow? Where am I going to find a job, and how I'm going to find a job to support my family? That's the biggest issue. How am I going to support my family here? What am I going to do, and what tomorrow holds for me? Unfamiliar situation, unfamiliar culture, different for some folks, even absolutely huge differences in culture. Then language, not being able to communicate with people, not being able to speak the language of the country. That's what is very frightening. This is the path that I have walked on my own feet. And I know all these frustrations and sometimes anxiety and fear for uncertainties, and that's something that is familiar to me. Yeah. I came from Ukraine. I left Ukraine, well, it's 11 years ago. I left October 8th, 1989. In my situation, our family was persecuted during the Soviet Union regime. Started from earlier generation. My grandfather was in Siberia for 10 years. Then it came to his children, like my uncles, my fathers, and so on. And it got down even to the point where I had a case with the KGB also, and I had warning from the prosecutor, and so on. September 1st, 85, my aunt, she was murdered by a doctor in Ukraine. My uncle was a minister, he was youth minister in the church, and KGB warned him about they told him that you have to quit what you're doing. And then in a couple months after she was pregnant, they took her to a hospital, and she didn't come alive, neither her or baby. So she was the last victim of Soviet regime in our family. I didn't want my children to go through what I had to go through in my life, in my childhood. So that's why I left, and that's why so many people are leaving their homeland, because they have no choice. They have to go somewhere. They have to find a place that they can be sure that tomorrow when they leave their children to sleep, they will wake up safe.
In the Ukraine, Victor and his family were harassed and persecuted for their religious beliefs. It is a situation that Mercedes Rodriguez understands all too well. She and her family came to the United States 2 years ago as refugees from Cuba.
Well, all my family worked very hard with the church, all life. My mother worked too many years with a Christian American school. When the revolution broke the capitalist system, she didn't go to war with the educational system of Cuba, like communist system in Cuba. But always, she tried to keep the heritage for the Christian education. And then, all my life, I lived between my home and my church. I'm Catholic for all my life. Then, in Cuba, the people that go to the church is not good so for the political system. Maybe you can have problem with your job. You can have problem with your professional career. For example, in the year that I go to the university, if you go to the church, you can study whatever thing that you like. Only you can find for very, very hard career. I work at the nuclear power construction, army, and education. I teach for mechanical engineer. I'm mechanical engineer, master degree in mechanical engineer. I teach for my my major for 12 years.
In Cuba, I was working in the hospital for 24 years. Yes, I was working into the anesthesiology, in the anesthesiology, yes, in the surgery rooms. Yes, I was working for a long time, and I like very much because I was born in the hospital. When I take in my hands my career about anesthesiology, yes, I like very much.
Mercedes and Nelson had successful professional careers, but with the dissolution of the Soviet Union in the 1990s, Communist Cuba's economic system had no support and fell into dire straits.
Cubans don't have nothing for support the economic system. And then all the change. The people each time was most poor situation. Don't worry if you are professional or not, because the Cubans don't have any economic system. The salary was very low each time, and then you don't have any form of support your life or your family. And then all your life change, because you think first, oh, my life is good, this system is good, everything is good. But when you have too much problem in your family, with the medicine, with the clothes for your children, with the food for your children, nobody can imagine that one children don't have milk after the 7-year-old. Then you need to buy this milk very, very expensive, and you don't have this money. If my family decided the another thing, don't come into the United States, stay in Cuba, can resolve nothing, can support the family.
My mother and my sister, and she's my daughter too, yes. I talking with them about it is necessary that I went to the United States, do you remember? It was necessary that I have money for you, for all, because in this moment it is impossible that I resolve all the problems that you had my money that I receive in my hospital is a few money. For you, it's a few money for me, and for you, and the family is very, very short. It's impossible that I hell day.
Nelson knew he could better support his family earning a living in the United States. Making the decision to leave his country was not easy, particularly when both he and Mercedes were leaving family members behind. But actually getting out of the country is an even bigger task. As in many countries, Cuba requires that residents have exit visas before they are allowed to leave the country. A certain number of these visas are issued on a temporary basis to business travelers or those visiting families in other parts of the world. But for those wishing to leave permanently, it is much more difficult. These visas are issued on a lottery system, where qualified applicants are drawn at random to receive a visa. Some people wait for years and their names are never drawn. Nelson and Mercedes were lucky when their names came up in 1999.
It's funny, in Cuba, when somebody receives the letter of the lottery, it's like to party. All your neighborhood go at your home, oh, congratulations, congratulations. What is the signal? Is everybody try to congratulate your situation? It's one signal for things, no?
Although the family was happy to receive the visas, it wasn't long before that moment of realization came, when they knew that they were leaving home and leaving family behind. Mercedes' daughter Tania was 15 at the time and remembers that day vividly.
So when the package arrived to my house, like the lottery package, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to live in another place. But it didn't really strike me until I had to leave to Havana to catch the plane. And it was so really hard because I woke up and I just thought, I'm just not going to wake up anymore in this house on my bed. I'm just not going to see my grandfather's anymore. And then I just saw my grandfather's face, and it was so sad. And I started to not be happy about it. I didn't want it to come. I just, how am I going to live without them there? So it's really difficult, and not having your friends around anymore, not seeing different streets, different houses. It's so hard. You just left your life. You left your life for a new life. And it's so hard to get used to your new life.
It's
so
like
really
to born
hard.
again.
Yeah, it's like to learn to walk, or to learn to well, actually you have to learn to speak again, or to read again.
Yeah. Or to work again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can understand when somebody go outside of the country, less of culture, heritage, language, everything. And you come in one country when everything is different. You need somebody that helps you. My family speak with me about this program here in Harrisonburg specifically. It's funny, somebody said to me, in this country, in this city, every day is very quiet. Maybe you don't like this place. I say, this is my place. I go to Harrisonburg, and somebody said, you're crazy. The weather is bad, it's different at you. In Miami, we have too many friends, family. And everybody like that live in Miami say, no. I go to Virginia because in Virginia, everybody is speaking English. This is my place.
Mercedes says it is very important to her to master the English language, to continue to build her life and career here. But she also says that she will always be grateful to the Refugee Resettlement Office for helping her to begin that journey.
I don't know. I can define this because for my family, I'm grateful too much for these people that help me in everything. That help me to grow at the United States. Very friendly people. It's very help people because somebody call to these people at whatever time. I need go to the doctor, I need car, I need translate. And these people make the better job for that.
Many families that come to the area are sponsored by church groups and organizations that provide assistance of all kinds. Everything from housing to assistance with jobs, bank accounts, grocery shopping, and all the minutiae of everyday life. Seemingly easy tasks that become roadblocks in a place where everything is written or spoken in a language you don't understand.
I receive lessons, I receive classes in Cuba about the English idioms. But the teacher, I was a good teacher. Yes, I was a good teachers and good people that they speak very well English, but English in Cuba is different.
The accent is
the
very
accent,
different.
the phonetic is different, and the words, there are many different words in order to was stay. When I was stay, the first occasion, the first moments, I never to hear anything that always I thinking about in myself. What's the matter, my Nelson? Always I hear only I understand anyone.
No, it's funny. I studied English in Cuba for many years. But when I arrived to the United States, I need coming to many airports. In Miami, it's easy. Too much people are speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
But when I arrived to Pennsylvania, no, at the airplane,
The first time, the
the people
Pittsburgh.
speak with me,
Yeah.
and I can't understand nothing. I say, what?
Anything.
I think that I speak some English, but the reality, I don't speak nothing. Nobody understands me. I can understand nobody. I say, my God.
As if the language barrier isn't reason enough for apprehension, the family also had some fearful expectations about the society they were entering.
In Cuba, it's everybody knows that Cuba is communist, and they have this thing against United States. United States is a bad guy, and that's what we are taught.
The first time when my daughter need go to the school, I'm afraid too much because you receive in Cuba too much information about the United States, but all information that you receive is bad. All the time you say that your daughter at the school, one day maybe one people with a gun come in and kill everybody, and all the time you listen to many things about that.
It's so hard because everybody in Cuba is talking about, the murders and drugs and, the bad things of United States.
So after you hear that, then
You said, okay, I cannot go to take a walk along the streets because I'm going to get kidnapped, and then they're going to take out a liver or something, and it's like, okay, so the first, not the first day, but, a week after I was living here, it was like, I'm walking in the streets and people come to me and say hi, and they're so nice.
Mercedes and her family have overcome most of their apprehensions about our society. But perhaps one of the most difficult issues that they continue to struggle with is the effect of the language barrier on her career and Nelson's career. In a country where you don't speak the language, suddenly a master's degree in mechanical engineering and 24 years of experience as an anesthesiologist become almost useless. As a result, Nelson went to work for a local hotel and Mercedes for a local processing plant.
The first 5 days that I worked in that line, oh my God, I think I can make this job because I never before worked hard in my life. Only study, only make investigation, write book, teach class, no more. Never before I work with my hand. And then when you in front, this kind of job, for me was terrible, terrible. All my body pain too much, hold my hand, terrible. I say, I can't with this job. but well, I'm ready for everything in my life.
After working many months at the plant, during which she was promoted to a supervisor position, Mercedes decided to give up the industrial job for a task a little closer to her heart. Several weeks ago, she and Nelson opened Harrisonburg's first Cuban coffee shop, and she now spends her days running her own business. They both say that owning their own business is a new and exciting experience.
Now it's fun. It's too many times coming to my business on a student of EMU or GMU and said to me, I like to practice on Spanish, please speak with me in Spanish. I say, no, I need to practice English, I'm sorry. Well, don't worry, you speak in Spanish, I try to speak in English. Back and forth. Yeah, oh my God.
While Mercedes continues to learn English, she has also made a step in the direction of her former career as a professor. She has begun teaching GED classes at the Dayton Learning Center. The program helps immigrants and refugees earn their high school diplomas.
I think it's the first tip for my career here because, well, I have some friends that work for the immigrant education program, and one day she said to me, do you like teach some singing, whatever kind of school? I say, yes. Don't worry, I don't receive any rate or pay for that. Don't worry, I like to teach, volunteer. But she said to me, no, but I have one proposal for you. And the GED program, I think, is the more better thing that Virginia implement at the program of education. Because sometimes, you know, for another immigrant, well, these people like to grow, but sometimes it's very hard, no math, physical, chemistry, in another language. And for me, I have very, very nice group of students. It's another gift that sent to me the United States. The Dayton Learning Center, I think, is a very good school for this town.
Programs like this one are helping to integrate newcomers into American society, and they are also helping to break some stereotypes and stigmatisms that are sometimes associated with refugees.
I don't pretend to speak the perfect English. I'm never gonna make do that. It's just that some people who listen to you, they say, "Oh, you're Latin," It's like, oh, you're not American. It's like, well, I'm not American. I'm Latin, but I'm human. Hello. Yeah. And they just they see you like people who came here to interfere in their life or something like that. And that's like not true.
People do not come here to depend on the community. People do not come here to be users of the community. These are folks that come in to live in the community. These are folks that come in order to bring something to the community that community would appreciate, just to pay back for helping me to come here. Thank you for allowing me to have my children here. And that's what helps us to grow together. If you look into our community, what was 10 years ago when I started here, there were only 5 or 6 languages spoken in Harrisonburg city school system. Right now we have, I believe, 31 different languages spoken in the city schools. And it speaks about how we grow. It speaks about our future. And it helps us to understand better each other's life. Like what we were taught in our school about America, there are so many different pictures that were presented to us. And I'm sure the same thing was about us too in your schools. And now when we have a chance to meet, when we have a chance to talk together, we have a chance to sit down and see that there is not that much different between us. We all are people, we all ones who are looking for peace. We always trying to find the peace. Nobody runs from something that is good.
Like Victor, Mercedes and Nelson have begun to put those bad things of the past behind them. But while starting over, their thoughts are never far from their home country. their lives there, and the people they left behind.
You can't put all thing behind. I cannot forget my childhood. I cannot forget the places where I played soccer or hockey, or how the river feels when you break through the ice. I cannot forget that feeling, you know. I cannot forget my friends and relatives and other good things. But yeah, we are trying to put behind what was worse. No, it's going to take time. For us who have walked on that path, it's not that easy to forget.
When I left Cuba, I know I can never return. I'm very, very grateful with this decision. And I think this is my country, my new country. And I live here.
An immigrant cannot live with regret, or because you just cannot go back anymore. So it's like if you live with regrets and asking you what would have been if you hadn't left your country, it's like you will keep all your life, you know, like with that thing. It's just better to say, I don't regret anything, I'm happy where I am.
When you make one decision, you need to prepare your life for this decision. And then you need to live happy. If no, you know, I'm crying all the time because I can regret. No. I live here, I try to grow here. If I can grow faster or no, I need feeling happy for this decision.
The life is very, very large, and we do always to live once a day, only day, today. Live this day, only this day, not tomorrow, no, only this day.